What's going on, guys? All Blitzo here, and today I'm back with the OCIC winning Lost Box list. This deck was piloted by Azul GG, winning his second international title in just a little bit, around a year's time span. So definitely very impressive run by Azul, and I'm sure he'll have a video or stream about this deck soon. But it's definitely one I wanted to cover, as it was sort of an interesting new take, where his group had for a while been playing the Kyogre build, and he had dropped that from the list for this event, and I think that was because of the rise of the Wash Water plus Manaphy package going into the Orlando Regional Championships. It sort of scared away the Kyogre and was a little tough to deal with. You kind of had to cut consistency for more luxury cards like Temple of Sinnoh. So you went for a more consistent approach, adding that Sky Seal Stone, which is still tremendously useful in the Lugia matchup, and also adding in that Drapion 2 to give yourself still a decent time into Mew. So definitely a very strong list. I had a lot of fun playing with it. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing and leaving a like on this video. I'll have a couple battles after this, so stay tuned and watch those. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll have the list in the description, so if you want to copy this and try it yourself, by all means do it. So enough talking, let's get into the battles. Alright, we're into our first game here. We're going to be going first, which is always excellent. Unfortunately, we do mulligan, so that's not good, but ew, this hand's gross. Kind of hope Greninja or Comfey is in the prizes. Cramorant top deck is not helpful. Manaphy in the prizes is not helpful. This capture will have to find Comfey, I guess. I could get Greninja, but I do want to start getting cards into the Lost Zone. I have a VIP pass, so I'll take that for sure. I can VIP for Comfey and Greninja, and then we start to establish my board. So that was a very fortunate find of that first flower selecting. We'll conceal cards the Psychic. And I think I do want to rope. I cannot use the Air Balloon because I already used that capture to retreat. That's a tough choice, because I don't really know what my opponent's playing yet. And this could be Lugia, or even, it could be just about anything with Manaphy. So I'm going to hold on to Sky Seal for now. VIP pass means probably Lost Box. So, dang. So in hindsight, definitely should have taken the Oranguru over the Sky Seal. It definitely is Lost Box. So, yeah, definitely didn't have the information on that choice, but I didn't want to. Sky Seal Stone is just so crucial in those V Star and V Max matchups. I didn't want to leave myself without that option. The perils of closed list best of one, but it is what it is. We see a Psychic, or we see a Metal being lost then, so something with Magenta most likely. There's your Scoop Up Net. So our opponent's getting off to a pretty strong start. Did not bench Manaphy, so I could get punished by a Moonlight Shuriken play if they really pop off. They just grab Oranguru and Cramorant though, so if they're not grabbing more Comfey, it sort of tells me that they don't have a ton of switching cards in their hand, which I guess is sort of a good sign. A quick ball out. Hard Metal. This is definitely, I think, going to be one of the top picks for the upcoming regionals this weekend. And there's a right amazing rare. Oh, sorry. So I feel like if I were to choose what deck I were to play, if I were going to Knoxville and I were to choose what deck I had to play today, I'd probably choose Vikadactyl just after two Colress as a clutch rip off that conceal cards. I would just choose Vikadactyl just because this Lost Box list doesn't have anything like super great in a matchup. Like if I could set up a Dragonite, that's a pretty troublesome attacker for Vikavolt. But Itembox really annoying for Lost Box to deal with. And then all the Lugies that did really well were playing no Cologne. So as long as you go first, you should have a pretty solid time into Lugia. I know you're not the most consistent deck ever, but we do have best of 3 to kind of offset that a little bit. That I think could be a very strong play for the event if I were going to one of the two regionals this weekend, which unfortunately I am not, but I would probably play Vikadactyl or Control. I do think Flying Pika Control is in a pretty solid spot because I know I said that last weekend, but Control is truly, I feel, off the radar currently, and that's always when it's strongest, and I think this Azul build of Lost Zone Box sort of scares away those Ice Skews a little bit, so people might not be as heavily teched for Ice Skew. I would be playing Flying Pika just because it has, with the routine that Lost City and the Flying Pikachu, you can deal quite quickly with that Dragonite, and then they don't have really anything to deal with you. So we don't need Dragonite or Choice Belt in this matchup. I'd like to be able to build toward a Lost Mine. I'll quick ball out to Zeraora and grab, I guess, a backup Comfey. I don't really need to grab a card, but I will follow selecting. And if you made this 5 minutes into the video, I'd appreciate it if you'd go vote on my community tab poll that I posted. I'm looking to make some more beginner-friendly content, like some guides on just very on some more beginner-based stuff, like how to deck build, how to metagame, how to sequence, things like that. So if you please go vote on my poll I posted. It should already be live. I'll probably set it to go live at the same time as this. I plan in the upcoming days to have some more like beginner-friendly guide videos. So if there's any sort of guides or things like that you'd like to see, let me know, because I know quite a few of my viewers, or I'm sure probably most of my viewers, at least the ones that comment, are newer players who are a little less experienced, which is completely fine. I have no problem making content or teaching how or answering questions. Like, that's I have no problem doing that. So if you, and always if you want to ask me a question or you have anything that you'd like to ask me or advice, my email is always in the description below. If you want to shoot me an email, I could always down for some free coaching. So I took out my opponent's Manaphy, and I also set up the Oranguru to be knocked out with a Moonlight Shuriken, and then I put the 20 on the Comfey, so even if they drop down a Manaphy, since Azule's was not playing a Zigzagoon, I can't go for those 2-prize swing plays, but if they do recycle that Manaphy and drop it again, I can go 50 on the Comfey and 70 on the Manaphy and take 2 prizes. And then there's a Raikou Amazing Rare, which isn't much of an issue because we have Manaphy down. I'm definitely this Friday going to have my Knoxville regional video. I'm just going to do bold predictions for Knoxville, not the regional in Germany, just because being a North American player, I feel like I know that metagame a little better, and bold predicting for 2 events would be kind of a nightmare, but I already don't do very well enough on the few that I do for smaller events. Imagine doing 2 at once, so we'll just be doing them for Knoxville. And if any of you guys are going to Knoxville, definitely let me know in the comments below, because I'm intrigued to see how many of my viewers actually attend and play in real life cards. It's just, I haven't been to a tournament in real life tournament since the startup, so I'm intrigued to see how many other people are sort of the same way. So I'm just gonna try to checkmate my opponent here. I have the Sableye. Well, I can just take, yeah, I'm just gonna use the Radiant Greninja and take 2 prizes. I don't want to use the Colress too much. There's 7 cards in deck, and I have 2 turns left. I'm gonna take 2 prizes here, so I have to have at least 2 more turns. I'm not gonna be, it's just kind of unnecessary. I doubt my opponent plays hand disruption, and I don't want to get, I don't want to get caught with a low card deck when I have such a big advantage. I don't think it's necessary to play that sort of risk. So we see a Giratina get dropped. I have seen this list before. It's like Lost Box with 1/1 Giratina. I think it was either from Orlando or maybe it was from OCIC. I can't remember where I first saw it, but something interesting. Giratina was really strong going into this meta, but Lugia has sort of pushed it out of the format. I think Giratina will be back post rotation. I was watching Omnipoke play some tabletop games with it, and it definitely looked better. Lugia looks kind of rough, at least in their gameplay. So I don't know, the single strike sort of package is kind of scuff. I don't know. I do want to make some post rotation content too, but like it's just me, so I don't have anyone to test with. I don't. So it'd be kind of weird. Like I don't have the setup for tabletop either. I don't. So I suppose I could just make a deck and talk about it, but I don't know. Like that's just a 5-minute video, so it's just really, if you like me to do some more post rotation stuff, I have no problem doing that. It'd just be probably be a longer form where I just do like a big list dump for post rotation, which would be fine. So we did hit the Sableye off this flower sliding, so I can get both Sableyes down here, and even if my opponent plays a Roxanne or something, I still have an attacker on board. I'll put 11 on the Raikou and 1 on the Greninja, so just try to make it impossible for my opponent to win, and just have my opponent completely checkmate. Like even if they put Parasol on the active, I still have a Cramorant that can attack. They go Parasol Roxanne, so Just had the advantage this game. I got to Lost Mine much quicker than my opponent, and I was able to exploit them not being able to recover Manaphy quickly enough. So I would say that this build is probably unfavored into Mirror that's playing Zigzagoon, just because the Zigzagoon Mirror can take 2 prize in 1 turn. It's a little more tough for you to do that. So if you're having trouble with Mirror, definitely consider putting that Zigzagoon in there. But this is, I feel like, a very strong Lugia, very strong Mew, just a nice all-around build. So I don't like, and Mirror isn't bad enough that like, oh, I'm just dropping every Lost Box Mirror, because the Mirror is just kind of, I'm not gonna say it's completely luck based, because there's definitely some skill involved, and sometimes it can just come down to odd flower selectings and things like that. My opponent's just kind of guessed my Manaphy, which is going to play for them to do a long time ago, pinging my Sableye. I don't know what they're trying to do here. They don't have near enough cards to Lost Mine themselves, so I do not know what's happening. 5-8 lost them, so yeah, they're not even close. So, a bit of seeking. Well, he got plenty of cards to get out of the active spot, so that will be a good first game. Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing this deck. I am a pretty big Lost Box fan. I just enjoy the challenge of it. In general, I prefer, and we get the concession. So, on to our second game here. I just enjoy more challenging decks. Like I've never really liked playing decks that are more linear. Like I always like having a more complex game plan. Like that doesn't mean I'm never gonna play BDIF, because BDIF, I mean, well, sometimes it seems that BDIF is like boring. Like so, there have been times where BDIF has been a complex or fun deck to play. Like in this case, while Lugia is a great deck, it's not the most boring BDIF ever, but it's definitely not like, it's not RC Duraludon, or I'd say they're probably the 2 most boring decks in format are probably Regis and RC Duraludon. I don't like, in general, I know there's a lot of people who have a lot of bad things to say about this format, and while it is very coin flip based, as in like Arceus mirrors, Lugia mirrors, it's been that way for a while now. I'm not defending the game, saying, oh, it being turn 1 being coin flip, being whoever wins a coin flip makes the game good. It's been that way for a while. It doesn't make the game good. I'm just saying that it's been an issue for a while, and I just feel like people are popping out of the woodwork and just saying, hey, this format sucks. Well, welcome to the the whole Sword and Shield era has felt that way. Like ever since ADPZ was BDIF, like it was always, this game has been going first being optimal forever, and at least since X and Y was first printed. There's been a couple decks that have been okay going second, but most of the time it's just going first. It's always been better. Getting that first turn of evolving is just so much more important than being able to attack on your first turn. Like even Night March, we want to go first on it because you can you have 2 turns to get Night Marchers down instead of just 1. So like like there have been exceptions to decks that like to go second, especially with not being able to play a supporter on your first turn. Like one of my favorite decks of all time is Mew3 Boomer, the Rillaboom Grass Mewtwo Mew deck, one of my favorites. And that deck wanted to go second, so you could super growth into a Rillaboom, but majority of the time, as long as I have played this game, which has been, 8 years now, decks have been going first. So we're definitely going to look to thumping Snore into this Arceus and take the knockout. And since we're playing the Sky Seal Stone, we only need to take 2 knockouts to win this game, so it definitely makes things a lot more reasonable for us. I maybe should attach the Water Energy. I think that probably would have been a little better. Not that it matters too much, because we have Recycler and Gate in hand, so and we draw Lightning off the prizes, so never punished. And we double heads. I guess Lightning is probably okay, because then you put it back into the deck of a Recycler. So yeah, the Lightning was correct. Don't mind me. So we were able to set it very quickly, so we have lots of times to take this 1 knockout. I think I'm probably going to just punch for 250 with my Dragonite, because they shouldn't be able to one-shot me. And even if they have like a Hyper Potion, they can't heal all the damage. I'll still just be able to 2-shot with Dragon Gale. I'll have Rope, so even if they find a switch, I will still be able to finish off the Duraludon. It'll just be finding my Sky Seal Stone. It's going to be the most hard piece to do, but I will have plenty of dig between concealed cards, flower selecting, a couple flower selectings actually. So Boss Sorter is not a great top deck. We'll spell this Hisuian. I will conceal cards out the water. I have 2 gates, so I can quick ball and check the energies in my deck. I have just 2 psychics, so flower selecting. I'll grab the Sableye over the capture. I'm just thinning my deck out first. I don't need the choice belts, and then I am going to Energy Recycler, put those 5 back in there, and then we will do the Mirage Gates. I'm going to use the Scoop Up Net over the Switch Cart here, just so I can move my Dragonite more easily next turn. I don't have to if my opponent leaves this draw on the active spot, I don't necessarily have to plan an escape rope. So we'll just Dragon Gale. It's pretty much impossible for our opponent to clear all this damage, and I just need to find my Sky Seal Stone, and I'll have plenty of dig to get there. I can see a majority of my deck, so I'm not worried about missing it on my next turn. So there is a Colress from my opponent, so not even Marnie or anything, and even Marnie wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because it's just pushing me 4 cards closer to that Sky Seal. So yeah, there's on the Mirage Gate, then there's a couple energies out. We do have 1 Colress in deck as well, so we can conceal cards. We have quite a few flower selectings, and there's the Sky Seal Stone, so I'm going to use that star order. Then Dragon Gale for 4 prizes, and that's definitely a great game for us. On to our 3rd and final game. I'll get to go first once again. Starting Zeraora is not the worst thing ever. That free retreat is pretty nice, but generally is not. Only really that great of attack against Lugia, and it appears that we're up against Mew, seeing that Rotom Phone, Pat's the Peak, and Roxanne, yep, definitely Mew. We'll capture energy onto the Comfey, find another Comfey, I think. Could grab Radiant Greninja, but I do think Comfey's a little better here. Because I want maximum flower selectings on the first turn, so I can essentially get you a Thumping Snore turn 2. Definitely do not need Manaphy. I'll net the active. Flower select again. I don't like Lost Sableye, but it's not the most useful attacker in this matchup. It is pretty good though, so maybe could have kept Sableye. Definitely giving Drapion. Drapion is key in this matchup. So, flower selecting number 3. I'm really just getting a lot going, so I am in a pretty good spot to get that turn 2 Thumping Snore, and yeah, this deck it can just be really explosive, and Scoop Up Net will definitely be missed post rotation because you won't be able to do those crazy plays like get 7 turn 2 will be much tougher. So I do think Banette might creep in a Lost Box list, but I don't know. I haven't played any. I don't like losing Balloon, but need Snorlax for the turn 2 pressure. So yeah, I might look into making some post rotation content. That's something that you guys are interested in, like post rotation lists, metagame. Like, we kind of touched on the metagame, but I could just go over some Japanese lists or some of those TPCI Asia terms. And there's a phone and a pass, so we just need, yeah, we win. We have the gate, we have Colress, so this will be a quick one, but I wanted to show it off just because it wasn't a great game, not very competitive, but I was able to really explode with Lost Box, which is something that this deck really can do. And it really uses a lot of powerful single prize attack as well, and has that has a couple strong 2 pricers to help when needed. You're not going to use them all the time, but they're both very useful. And like that, if I went second that game, I very well could have got turn 2 or turn 1 Dragon going second, or turn 1 Thumping Snore. So I just wanted to show that this deck is incredibly fast, and it has it's very fun, and I think it's probably the 2nd best deck in format. I don't know. I feel like Lost Box is probably going to end up shifting at least a little bit going into this weekend. It's a very versatile archetype, and I think it'll be interesting to see how Lugia kind of takes this on, because that Wash Manaphy is not very useful, like Dunsparce. While it stops Zeraora from attacking, it just gets Lost Mind, and then Lost Mind, and then you can just use Dragonite for 3 prizes. So I think maybe Tool Jammer and Lugia could be kind of an interesting card, but like even then, it's not a perfect counter because your opponent can just bench Drapion, Sky Seal on it, and then Star Order on the bench Drapion, so it's not a perfect tech, and I feel like, I don't know, Lugia is kind of in a weird spot where it's, I feel like I've been saying for a while that it's probably going to go toward a counter to the counters direction, but it really hasn't, so I don't really know. So I'll say that rant for Friday's video. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel and like this video, and if you have any questions, as always, drop them below. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions, debate anything Pokemon related, but yeah, I'm going to get out of here, so I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and this has been all Blitzel. I'll catch you in the next one.